In this video, I want to talk about why rideshare is for me and answer the question, is rideshare for you? So, the number one reason why rideshare is for me, why this rideshare business is good for me, is time freedom. Life consists of time. We all have 24 hours a day. We all have 7 days a week. We all have 365 days in a year, and none of us have any more. None of us have any less. Lifespan is a different thing. You know, we don't decide the day that we're born, and we don't decide the day that we die. What we do decide, to an extent, is how we spend the dash in between your birthday and your death day. And so I have a problem with wasting time. I'm already not a great manager of time. I'm working on it. You know, some people believe in avoiding your weaknesses and just focusing on your strengths. Other people like me believe that there are certain weaknesses that you have to address, and you have to work on those weaknesses until they become strengths. I'm one of those people. And time management is tough for me, always has been since I can remember. But one thing I don't want to do, that I know that I don't want to do, that I'm just not built for, is to exchange my time working to make somebody else rich, being underpaid, underappreciated, underutilized, doing something that I really don't want to do. And so time freedom is huge. When I used to work for other people, my time was not my own, because I was trading time for dollars, and I was always trading time for not enough dollars. And, you know, I would argue that there's rare occasions when the trade between time and dollars actually even makes sense or is worthwhile for me. So for me, trading my time for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, even $100 an hour doing something that I don't want to do for somebody else, making them rich while I'm not getting rich, is not something that I want to do. So I'm an entrepreneur. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, but I am. And there's a lot of people who watch my videos on my channel who are entrepreneurs, and there's a lot of people that watch my videos that are not entrepreneurs. I don't tell people that they have to be an entrepreneur, or that everybody needs to own their own business, or everybody needs to be self-employed, or any of that kind of stuff. What I do say is that I'm not built for trading time for not enough money, especially when it comes to working for somebody else. I just hate it, can't stand it, especially because I'm married, I have a wife, and I have a son. And when I was doing that, I wasn't spending much quality time with my wife or my son, because I was always at work. And the crazy part is that feeling when you work and you work and you work, but you're still broke and you're still struggling financially, because you don't get paid enough. You don't get compensated enough for the work that you're doing. Meanwhile, the company that you work for, the owners and the executives of the company that you work for, they are being compensated greatly for doing a lot less work. And that's how, you know, the corporate structuring in the United States works. I understand that. But rideshare is for me because I turn my app on, I'm working. I turn my app off, I'm not working. That's the number one reason, the number one benefit, the number one blessing, the number one gift that being a rideshare driver gives me. So, with that said, that's not the only one. I get to work as much or as little as I want, and my income really is up to me. Can I maximize my earnings? Can I find ways to make more money in a shorter period of time? And can I find ways to leverage my efforts so that I'm making money even when I'm not driving? And the answer is yes. In the rideshare business, I can do that, and I know how to do that. So I enjoy that, because even though it's a lot of hard work and a lot of labor, a lot of hours in the beginning, the longer you are a rideshare driver, if you work smart and if you leverage your efforts, your time, your energy, and your resources, you can build up a good residual income, a good passive income, in addition to the active income that you're earning with fares and tips, etc. So there's a bunch of different revenue opportunities and revenue streams in this business beyond fares. You just have to figure out what they are and go out there and make it happen. So those are some of the reasons why rideshare is for me. Now, I'll say this also. The time freedom allows me the opportunity to study the things that I really care about, the things that I'm really passionate about, like real estate investing, and work my way into that field, because that's ultimately my end game, my goal with rideshare. So that's a year-long, 2-year-long, maybe 3-year-long process, is to turn this into a couple different businesses. Number one, my primary income source being real estate investing eventually. So it allows me the opportunity to find deals, to market, to connect with people, to meet with my mentors, to read, to study, to learn, to talk to buyers and sellers, investors and brokers and attorneys and everybody else involved in that business, and to learn so that I can put myself in a position to be able to do that. It allows me that freedom. It also allows me to be able to, drive my wife and my son to where they need to get, where they need to go on a daily basis, to be able to stop what I'm doing and go pick them up and take them somewhere, whether it's a doctor's appointment or to school or to work or whatever the case may be. And so you have the freedom to do that because you don't have anybody micromanaging you or your schedule or your time, etc., when you are a rideshare driver. Now, there are expenses in any business venture as a self-employed person or as a business owner, and I don't work for Uber. I don't work for Lyft. Let's get that straight. I work for myself. I work for my family. I use the technologies provided to me through companies, as mentioned, as a rideshare driver, to use those platforms to connect with passengers, to connect with riders, in order to generate revenue, to generate income, and ultimately profits. But there's expenses involved in any venture like that, and I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with filling my gas tank up every day. I'm comfortable with paying $1.06 for a car wash every day. I'm comfortable with vacuuming out my vehicle. I'm comfortable with getting oil changes. I'm comfortable with getting new tires or getting the tires rotated when it needs to be done. I'm comfortable with vehicle maintenance and that kind of stuff. I don't look at that as a deterrent or as a stumbling block or as resistance or opposition to me being successful. Some people do. Some people use that as an excuse for why they're not successful, and some people use that as an excuse for why they are not earning the money that they want to earn. This is probably not for you, if that's you. If you're the type of person that looks at an oil change or gasoline or fragrance for your vehicle, or bottled water, or maintenance, or car washing, if you're the type of person that looks at that as a deterrent to you being successful financially, this is probably not for you. So just cut the video off and don't drive in the rideshare business. It's not for you. Also, I'm a people person. I can talk to all kinds of people from all kinds of backgrounds, from everywhere around the world. I can relate with them, and I can find commonality and have genuine, real conversations of interest to them. That's easy for me. So rideshare is for me, and I get really good tips because I make people feel comfortable in my vehicle. Number one, my vehicle is always clean. It always smells good, and I drive well. Safety first. Getting point A to point B, that's my objective. But number two, I can relate with people. I can talk with people. We can have a good time. I can make it an enjoyable experience for them. And so this suits me well because I don't mind being around all kinds of people. I don't mind meeting strangers. It's not uncomfortable for me. If you're not like that, if you're not a people person, you don't want to talk to people, you don't know how to put people at ease, you don't know how to make them feel comfortable, you can't smile and put a smile on their face, you can't relate with people well, or you're awkward in conversation or communication, and people don't like talking with you because you're, contentious, or, whatever the case may be, then this is probably not for you. Rideshare is not for everybody. Being a rideshare driver is not for everybody. And then the other thing is, I'm smart. When I say I'm smart, I'm not saying it in like a boastful way, like I'm smarter than you. I'm saying it in a way that I understand there's obstacles, hurdles, resistance, things to overcome in everyday life, period. I'm a problem solver. I'm a solution-minded guy. And so in business, no matter what kind of business it is, but especially in the rideshare business, I'm looking for solutions. The problems are not a big deal to me. I'm looking for solutions. I'm looking for ways to maximize my efforts. I'm looking for ways to maximize my time. I'm looking for ways to maximize my earnings. I'm looking for ways to maximize every single relationship and communication that's built during the course of me driving my passengers every single time. And so with that mentality and that attitude, rideshare is for me. It works for me. I can average $20 an hour when I go out and drive. I can average $10 a trip when I go out and drive, and I can get good tips. On top of that, I can recruit and train drivers all over the country because I'm able to relate with people, and I'm able to tell them, honestly, transparently, like how this actually is, what it isn't. And people are able to relate to that. People are able to connect to that. So when it comes to the business, like if it's dead in a particular area, there's no requests coming in, I don't keep driving in that area. I had a driver tell me yesterday that he goes and waits 2 hours in the queue at the airport in his city for a request to come in, takes that passenger, wherever they need to go, then goes back to the airport and waits another 2 hours in the queue. Like, that's retarded. That's ridiculous. That's just not smart. So when I say I'm smart, what I'm telling you is I don't do stuff like that. I don't spend 2 hours waiting for nobody or nothing. I don't spend 1 hour. I don't spend a half hour. I don't spend 20 minutes waiting ever for a request. Because if I'm not getting requests in a certain area in 5, 10, 15 minutes, I'm moving on to a different area where it's busier, where the requests are coming in. And I don't sit around and wait for something to happen. Especially not in queue with 50 or 60 other cars. Like, that doesn't make any sense. The only time you make money in this business is when you have passengers in your vehicle or when you are recruiting, training, and bringing other people into the company, or providing local sponsorship for local businesses, etc., or leveraging rideshare to word of mouth advertise other products and services that you have as a person, as a driver. So in terms of fares and tips, like, if you don't have passengers in your vehicle, you're not making money. So I'm smart enough to understand that, and to maximize my efforts in such a way that I'm trying to have passengers in my vehicle at all times, as much as possible, as often as possible. I don't care if they're going 2 blocks down the road or if they're going 40, 50 minutes away. Like, I just want passengers in my vehicle because that's when I'm making money. So, and I do both of those kind of trips. I do short trips, medium trips, long trips. I do quick trips. I do trips that take a long time. I do trips with 1 passenger. I do trips with 6 passengers. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have the passengers in your vehicle, because that's when you're earning fares. So I don't do stupid stuff like sit around and wait for a request to come in a queue. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So if you're not smart enough to figure that kind of stuff out, then maybe rideshare is not for you. If you're not a problem solver, maybe rideshare is not for you. If you get easily frustrated and upset at people because their pickup destination is not exact, because somebody can't figure out how to get the pin marker exactly where they're at, if you're going to blow up and get into a shouting match with people over that, rideshare is probably not for you. I'm not that kind of guy. I tend to be more patient with people. I tend to understand that not everybody understands how to use the app, even though I think it's very simple. Not everybody understands the ins and outs of the apps. And sometimes people, are not in their clearest state of mind. Sometimes they've been drinking. Sometimes, they don't know the area. They're from out of town. They're visiting. Things like that happen. And sometimes, they request you get there. You got to wait 5 minutes for them to come out of the house because they weren't ready yet. Stuff like that happens. If you can't deal with little stuff like that, then this probably isn't for you. If you don't have that amount of patience, it's probably not for you. So, is rideshare for you? I don't know. Only you can answer that. But if it is and you haven't started driving yet, I want to let you know that both companies provide incentives for you to sign up through an existing driver. So if you'd like to sign up and get a new driver cash guarantee or bonus for completing a certain amount of trips when you first start driving, sign up at the links below or use my referral codes, and you'll get a bonus instead of signing up and getting no bonus. Also, if you have questions about rideshare, comment below. If you have comments, you like the video, you hate the video, whatever you want to say, you can thumbs up, thumbs down, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. But it's Friday. We're going to make a lot of money this weekend. And I appreciate everybody that views these videos. I appreciate all the haters. I appreciate all the lovers. I appreciate all the likers. I appreciate all my subscribers. And stay tuned. I got more coming at you. Y'all have a great weekend and a great day. Drive safe. Peace.